Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Today is September the 12th. And thinking about what happened yesterday, I want to start and say thank you for joining today. My name is Cherie Crim. I am the author of The Business Case for Kindness, which I have lots of fun handouts for us today. It is an amazing book about the time that I spent in corporate America and what we can do to make things better, because when you're in it, you don't realize what's going on. So before we get in the discussion today, I want us all to take time to remember 9/11. Yesterday, I attended our local ceremony, and it was amazing. To stand there and to think 20 years ago, I know we all know where we were, if you're old enough to remember when that came down, because we do have a generation now that doesn't remember what happened on 9/11. So if you think about where you were on 9/11 that day and everything that has occurred since that day, we came together. We were united in stopping people who wanted to harm us. We are now 20 years later, and we're fighting with ourselves. We are fighting in the United States to see for the right to become sick. I've never seen us fight so hard to become sick, right? Illness, right? Why would we want to do this? So sitting back and thinking about 9/11, I was in my second year in corporate America, and it was very telling how everything went down. I was sitting at my desk. I was a call center manager in Amarillo, Texas, and I was sitting at my desk. And as I'm sitting at my desk, one of my representatives comes over, Richard. Richard comes over and he says, I have a person on the phone that says a plane crashed into the World Trade Center. So I was the first one in the office to hear what was going on. So I ran to go to the TV because I needed proof, right? And back then, these cell phones, we didn't have them as readily, and there was no internet on your cell phone. So let's be clear here. There was no internet on your cell phone. And so we are run into the room. I look at the TV, and that's when I see the second plane crash. So I run back to my area manager's office and I talk to him and I say, Neil, we have to, what are we going to do? So everybody starts working down that path. I walk back into the call center room. And if you've ever been in a call center, it is a loud, loud place. I walked back in that room and it was silence. Every phone call dropped. It's amazing how the information being passed happened. So things change and we are there. So I want us to remember 9/11, take a moment of silence. And if you've lost anybody in that, I sincerely apologize. And I also want us to take the time and remember all the people that have died of COVID, because I know we have lost quite a few people here with COVID. So I'll be right back with you. A moment of silence. "20 years ago, never did I realize that we would be where we are in our society today." And it's very interesting to think back to what I thought back 20 years ago, starting in corporate America. I started in corporate America in 2000, and I spent 15 years working many, many different jobs and seeing all the good, the bad, the ugly, illegal, and I will say that out loud, illegal again, because companies are knowingly and willingly violating laws. And I know that is a very large statement. Not all companies, so don't take a generalization because I know, but a lot of companies. And I could name off many within the Fortune 10 that are doing it. I think we all could figure that out, right? So today, Kindness Sundays, I want to talk a little bit about the book, and then I want to talk about what's going on in our society right now because of COVID, because of what is going on with workers, hostile work environments, toxic places. People don't want to be there anymore. So it's time that we start stepping up and doing the right thing. So we're going to start today with the business case for kindness. And as you can see, I have everything tabbed because, well, that is the type of writer I am. And I like to know where I can go get information to be able to share quickly. Now, I will say, writing the business case for kindness, how kindness, respect, and trust hold the power to transform corporate America. It's not just corporate America. And at the time, that was the world that I knew was corporate America. I had come out after 15 years, a director of operations. That is what I knew. But as I've changed and grown and moved and do different things now in my next career, I've had quite a few different careers. It's not just corporate America. Small businesses, politics, city governments. Kindness is a superpower. And that superpower has the ability to connect us to people. And I truly believe, and the science is there, you can pull the research, it is there, that when you are kind to someone, it makes them feel better. And when you feel better, you treat others better. So a funny story that I love to tell here in my town that I live in, I live in a smaller area now here in Florida, Bay County, Florida. It is amazing to me watching these businesses sit there and continue to pay low wages and then complain that they can't find people to accept those low wages. Let's talk about economics. Let's talk about how sales works. Let's talk about this. It really is not rocket science, but yet we continue to make things harder. And I don't know why. Because here's the thing. What does turnover do for you? Turnover increases your costs. So if you can't hire people, that means you're losing them, right? So you're out hiring people, you're losing people. So you're spending more money trying to hire people when if you would have paid those existing people a better wage, they might have stayed. You see, companies that understand the formula, and I'm going to pull out the formula here because this is really something that the companies who understand this, and there are many of them that do, the companies that understand the KRT formula, which is the kindness, the respect, and the trust. And I say kindness, respect, and trust because you must start at the bottom. If you are not treating your employees decently, if you are not paying them a decent wage for what they're doing, and that includes flipping burgers, it means any manual labor. Let's stop pretending like we want to, that those jobs are just high schooler jobs because they are not. It all starts there at the bottom level. Why do companies have so much turnover? It's very simple. They're either paying crap or they're treating their customers like crap. Customers and employees, sorry, both of those really, because here's the thing. If you're treating your employees like crap, your customers know it. So by treating your employees with the disrespect and not the kindness and putting them in a hostile work environment and not paying them a decent wage. In my area, we have a lot of people that work 2 to 3 jobs just to be able to pay for a 2-bedroom apartment here. Because of course, in my area, we went through Hurricane Michael back in 2018, and people don't understand what it's like to go through a hurricane and to see what happens with your town, because it really is something that it doesn't end quickly. I'll say it that way. We are still, we are almost at the 3-year anniversary of Hurricane Michael, and we're still recovering. I mean, we still have people who can't find housing. We have a lack of housing, and the housing we do have is ridiculously expensive. So we have a fundamental issue here in our area where companies don't want to pay a good wage, and then they wonder why they can't get people, or they allow the hostile work environment. People aren't going to stay in that anymore. The one thing we have learned is that we do matter, and that you need to treat me with some dignity and respect if you want me to work for you. And now employers are starting to figure this out. I've been saying this for so long at this point, it's like second nature to me. But for some companies, it's like a big right, like big stop sign in front of their face. Oh my God, I'm not doing the right thing. So the formula is simple. You treat your employees with kindness, and I include kindness as being, number one, livable wage, right? Not allowing hostile work environments, no adult bullies. Those don't need to be there running these areas. That means no yelling and screaming, treating them with dignity and respect, and understanding and empathy. If you can do those things, you can grow your business. Because when you have happy, healthy employees, they will treat your customers very well. They will treat their employees well, which makes a great workplace. Giving your employees a livable wage, not treating them like crap, treating them with kindness, equals more customers. More customers equal what? More revenue. This is not a hard formula, but somehow we don't think that this will work. Do we? Or do we disallow the bad behaviors? And there's a question and answer period a little later. I had some people send me questions in. I think it's really important for us to think about that. So back to the KRT model. When you are using this, it's just like the hierarchy of needs, right? You start at your bottom, safety and security, and you build up. Kindness is number one. You will never get somebody to respect you if you are not kind to them. And you will never get to trust if you don't have kindness and respect. You can't have one without starting right here, because kindness is our path forward. And it is our superpower, right? Imagine, and I say this for anybody out there who doesn't think that they have the ability to do this themselves or to even bring it up. What if you went to your boss tomorrow and say you wanted, I have an idea, right? I think that we are not treating our employees well enough. I know that they're not paid well. What can we do about it? Starting to think that way will help move the needle. Little ideas lead to bigger ideas. And these little ideas move on. So I have a video that I want to share, and this is an amazing project. I don't know if any of you have seen this before. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to share my screen right now. I'm going to go over here. I have all kinds of awesome kindness videos, but I'm going to go back here. That is not the one I wanted. Up. So I want you guys, if you have not seen this, the Kindness Rocks project, This is amazing. And this is something that all of us could do, even within our own office, to be able to make that work. And apparently I did not pick the one where they were doing this, create a ripple. 1 second. I love getting things to work. There we go. There you are. I was walking through your neighborhood, saw you out on it in the cold. I said, anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. I've been getting used to waking up with you. I've been getting used to waking up here. Anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are. There you are. There you are. You're the fire and the flood, and I always feel you in my blood. Everything is fine when your head's resting next to mine, next to mine. You're the fire and the flood. Since we met, I feel the lightness in my step. You're miles away, but I still feel you. Anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are.
When I was a little girl, I boldly believed that.
It didn't stop right away. Sorry, y'all. So the Kindness Rocks Project. I have to tell you, recently I moved, and when I moved, somebody actually came and gave me one. And they put it right on my mailbox to make sure I would see it with the 850 strong on it. And this right here every day shows me that we are a kind society and we want us to be the best we possibly can be. So, kindness, respect, and trust. It is what our path forward is. And as soon as we can get to that, things are going to get a ton better. And we're moving there. We're getting there. So thinking of things how they have been within business, and I'm going to pull a couple articles that are very recent that I've pulled up. And I keep up with a lot because it's important for us to see what is happening. So one of the great articles I found just a few months ago was employees are feeling burned over broken work from home promises and corporate culture BS as employers try to bring them back to the office. See, in the business case for kindness, there's ways for this, and we have forgotten how important our employees are. They're not disposable. They are not just resources. They are people, and we need to treat them with the dignity and respect and kindness that they deserve. So it's just wow, watching these things happen. I think this article just the other day, 2 days ago actually, from INC, the biggest truth most leaders misunderstand about the Great Resignation. You see, this Great Resignation is amazing, and it is forcing companies to look at things differently. So that's where the business case for kindness comes in. How many of you have read Simon Sinek, Why? Or have read anything by Brene Brown, right? Simon wants us to find our why. Brene wants us to be vulnerable. Those two things don't work together right now within things, right? Because of how it is structured. We're teetering right now, and I say teetering, command and control, the strict father morality, what we have been dealing with. Ye who screams the loudest wins. That's over here. And the rest of us, we're over here fighting for equity, diversity, inclusion, for everyone to be treated the same. And it's this interesting, and it's a balancing act right now, right? Who's going to win? Is it going to be this strict father morality, this command and control? I'm going to tell you what to do, or are we really going to go down this path? Simon Sinek wants us to find our why. Brene Brown wants us to be vulnerable. Well, how do you do those things? They tell you, but how do you put it all together for corporate America? How do you put it together for your business? That right there is what this is for. The business case for kindness. If you've ever written a business case, and I'm not assuming anybody has or has not, I've written very many at this point. If you make money back, your payback period is within 12 months, wouldn't you want to jump on that ASAP? To know in 12 months, you could substantially change your company. You could substantially change your employee satisfaction. You could substantially change your sales. You could substantially change everyone's life, right? Because the business case for kindness tells you how to use your why and be vulnerable, and it gives you what has to happen to make it all happen. Because this is not something that we can just say we're going to do it. Corporate America is ingrained for greed. And I say that because we have been stuck in this hate, fear, and greed cycle. Well, actually since the 80s. Now, 9/11 didn't help because the fear factor in 9/11 made us more fearful than we ever had been before in our lives. So that fear has led to more hate. Now, the greed's being found out, right? I mean, we know this. We have known this in our society that our minimum wage has not been keeping up with the cost of living or inflation. None of it. We know that. But no president has been dealing with it. Honestly, they're letting the states deal with it, and that is understandable. But think about it this way. 30 years, okay? That's how long I have been in the workspace. In 30 years, minimum wage has been increased by $3. Okay, let's be clear. 30 years ago, I could buy a cheeseburger at McDonald's for 39 cents. That cheeseburger at McDonald's now is 5 times that cost, right? And we've gone up $3. This is why the states are taking control, getting the minimum wage, getting the $15 an hour. But even at $15 an hour isn't enough, right? Why would we want, and I say it this way as I'm a business owner, why would we want our employees to struggle? I don't believe we do want our employees to struggle, do we? Then it's up to us to take care of them. Our employees are the backbone of any company. And that's where, goodness gracious, we've gotten ourselves stuck. And this is why the Great Resignation is very important. So I love this. If you're an employer or even just occasionally left the house lately, you probably don't need statistics to convince you that America is in the midst of the great resignation. But if you want confirmation, they just reported that 11.5 million workers quit their jobs in April, May, and June of this year. And depending on which survey you look at, like half of the employed people are actively job hunting. You see, bosses are obviously anxious to hold on to their people. Really? Really? I don't think they're really that anxious because they would do it with kindness if they did. So, but that's the first step, right? Allowing, I mentioned the work from home and the corporate BS, right? When they started to try to make people come back. But can you believe that a company really thinks they should pay you less because you're working from home? That kind of blew my mind when Google decided to do that. I mean, it's just one of those things that doesn't make it any better. So this isn't just a fight about remote work. This is about the whole thought of how we treat our employees and how work environments need to be for the future. You see, those who do not follow the business case for kindness, I'm going to be honest, you can 100% succeed if you follow the business case. 100%. There's no doubt about it. And in fact, any company can transform, and I'm willing to help any of the Fortune 500s do this. You can transform your company. You know, it's really a fun fact, and I love to look at the numbers when you actually go down, because I don't have not just the ideas. I show you the math, because again, business case. And we have to stop thinking that profit is more important than people, because it's not. People over profit every day of the week. Taking care of your people, taking care of your employees, taking care of your fellow coworkers, being kind. That right there, this model sets you up for success. But what it doesn't allow is the adult bullies and the toxic work environment to continue. But as we all know, nobody wants the toxic work environment or the adult bullies either. But yet, here we are. You know, it's when you keep going down this path, you know, workers aren't just looking for higher pay, more time off, or more days at home. They're actually questioning the whole meaning of the daily grind and why we put so much of ourselves in our career. And we are getting a fair deal from our employees in return for all of this stress and heartache. We have to stop with this assumption that work equals stress. Work does not need to equal stress. We have created it this way because we want workers to be stressed out. I say we created it. The companies created it. The command and control structure created it because we want workers to be stressed out. Imagine working for a company for 15 years, and not knowing if you were going to have a job the next year because they laid off employees every single year for 15 years. Wouldn't you think a Fortune 10 company would be smart enough not to do that? I would. It would make sense to me, but that's not how it works. And it's very interesting. That same company's laid off people continuously. At this point, it's been 21 years of layoffs of a Fortune 10 company. Wow. Think about that. As a business owner, it amazes me that you can't balance your budget enough. But then again, I understand exactly why they are where they are. Because they have this command and control structure. See, the adult bullies have been allowed to scream and yell and do things that you shouldn't do to your employees. You shouldn't even do to your company, right? One year, it's a fun story. One of the biggest adult bullies. He was a misogynistic man as well. He really disrespected women, and he was allowed to do it. HR let him do this. I want to be clear. Human resources is a problem. And if you're part of human resources and you've allowed the adult bullies, the toxic work environments, we got to talk. Please email me because I know you're doing it because your company is telling you to. You're not doing this because you believe it's the right thing to do. Because if you thought it was the right thing to do, why would you think it's okay for somebody to yell and scream at somebody? So this particular man, adult bully, he had to have this money to be able to start something in that year. And if he didn't get it, he wasn't going to be able to do what he needed the next year. So by him throwing a big fit, which did not affect his bonus in the way it affected everyone else's bonus. You see, because when you're at different levels, your bonuses are different. He did this, and it affected all of our bonuses below him. No consideration for us. And we were just like, sorry, we had to spend it here. No. People over profits. People are the most important, and we can do our best on this. And that's why I want to say, kindness. Back to this. I'm going to play a video, and this just happened. And watching people come together for a common cause is amazing. And so this video is going to be awesome. So I'm going to pull it up right now. Go back. I know I have more. Me and my videos, they automatically start for whatever reason, and I need to figure out how not to do that going forward. All right. So this just happened.
This is playing their first home game of the season tonight, but they were quickly upstaged. I get this falling cat. You heard that correctly.
You gotta see it to believe. Local 10 Sports anchor Blake Morrow joins us with the best catch of the football season so far.
Oh, Larry and Snell, good luck finding better video than this weekend. As you mentioned, the Hurricanes kicked off their home opener against Appalachian State. It kicked off a little after 7 o'clock, but within minutes, nobody was thinking about the game anymore. Check this out. A cat hanging off the top of the stand. You can see it desperately holding on. This first video courtesy of Hollywood at Danny WQAM, our buddy over at 560. Now the cat falls, but watch what happens. A fan catches it in an American flag. We're going to show it to you again and then show you another angle. This is incredible. You can't make this up. On 9/11, fans catching a falling cat in an American flag, saving that cat's life. This update from the people over at Hard Rock Stadium tonight, quote, "We're happy that due to the heads-up nature of fans in sections 107, 110, and 208, that cat landed safely after a harrowing fall. Get this, we wish the cat the best in his remaining 8 lives." And they also made a donation to the Humane Society and encourage fans to do the same. As for the game itself, we're going to bring you highlights a little.
I mean, think about that, right? I saw that, and that's us coming together for a common good and to help something, right? Was anybody hesitating? Absolutely not. But yet, if somebody's falling at work, if somebody's struggling because their boss is toxic, what are you going to do? I tell everybody to leave your toxic work environments, leave your adult bullies, leave them all behind, because life is better when you stop having to have that in your life. When you treat your employees good and you pay them a decent wage, they will also, in turn, not be as stressed. Those employees will be out there, hopefully, because now they're being treated kindly at work. Maybe they won't yell and scream when they get home. Maybe they won't be stressed out and they won't feel the need that they have to go out and drink themselves to sleep every night just so they can get up and go to work again the next day. This is the fun part of everything that we have and we have gotten to. So I would be remiss if I didn't pull out a certain job aid, because this one is absolutely one of my favorites, and I have many, as I'm sure you guys are starting to see. So being a KRT leader, and this is the Kindness, Respect, Trust, being a kindness and respect trust leader takes a lot. And again, it's not something that you are expected to know how to do right away. And that's okay, because you don't have to. Because I'm here to help you. Getting to be a leader that leads with kindness is what's going to take you to the next level. Because what happens when your team works better together than all the other teams? It makes a difference. Kindness makes a difference in everything we do. So thinking of, I just want to share, and I will put this here. It is on another video I have, but it's also, I'll make sure that the copy is on the website as well, which is bekindall.com. When you look at the top characteristics of a KRT leader, and I want to say out loud really, really, really quickly, every leadership book you read, every leadership book that they teach in higher education, none of them tells you to yell and scream at your employees. Nobody tells you to create a toxic work environment. That occurs due to other things. And somehow we lose the humility and empathy as we go up the ladder, up the hate, the fear, and the greed, right? Because I can tell you, I know many people, the greed. I mean, that's why they do it. They think that yelling and screaming is going to make their team work better for them because it's worked in the past. But you know what, big bullies? It's time to stop. Adult bullies, we don't need you anymore. You're the reason why we're here right now. You're the part of the reason why we have continued this ridiculous us versus them scenario, because it's not us versus them. It's all of us working together. And politics will tell you it's us versus them. And let me tell you, I'm also involved in politics. That's a whole nother discussion for another day, but you can check me out. I've got some videos on that as well. Top 20 characteristics of a KRT leader. Number 1, humility and empathy. Number 2, able to listen before speaking. Active listening skills. You can build a relationship with your employee. You're authentic and genuine. You know how to handle problems and conflicts without yelling. You welcome diversity, difference of opinions, and you also live outside of your work. Your work is not your life. You have curiosity and optimism. You ask, what if? And you have fun, you are creative, and you celebrate successes. It's not hard. But yet, we've lost sight of this. I know many leaders that do these things. But number 6, welcomes diversity and difference of opinions and options. That's right there where the ego gets involved, and these managers want it to be their way. Now, I will also say, diversity-wise, I remember my executive vice president having the nerve to ask me why I was hiring such a diverse team. I mean, I hired the right people for the job, but I also hired a team that was not all white. In fact, we were half not white. We were not all women. In fact, we were only like half women. I got a team together so we could have these options, so we could have these difference of opinions, because that's how you grow, right? Simon Sinek, what with your why, right? You know your why. You want to grow something. You want to do these things, right? What is your why? You've got that. But then you've got to be vulnerable, right? And when you're vulnerable, that's when things don't work right, because you're always scared. And if you have these adult bullies who yell and scream at you when you stand up and say something, there's so many stories. And in fact, most major disasters within companies could be avoided if the person would have spoken up. You know, it's interesting to think about how when something's going wrong, somebody knows, but it never gets to where it needs to be. Yeah, we can be better at that. So kindness, being a charity leader. So I appreciate, this time with you today. Leading with kindness has been a passion of mine for a very long time. And I am here to share and help. And I want all of us to grow and be better as we go forward. So I found another great article, and this one actually came out yesterday. And we're going to go to a couple more videos before I come to that article. But we are changing. We are realizing the employees are the most important. And that is where we need to go. So thinking ahead, kindness matters. Everything we do, leading with it. I want to share a video of a woman who did acts of kindness for her birthday. And if this doesn't inspire you to want to go out and do something nice to someone, it makes me want to go out right now. And in fact, I'm going to, once I get done with our videos today, go out and do something. So I'm going to go here. There we go. And I am going to add back to the stream this, and I am going to play.
When I was a little girl, I boldly believed that I would change the world. As I grew older, I realized how big of an order that was. I'm just a small girl. What can I do? As I grew up, I realized it wasn't a lot of what I did, but it's who I was that made the difference. And when I started to be that person, it grew a light inside of me. And I discovered that others could have this light too. And when I showed them my light, they caught it too. And that got me wondering, if I ignite others, then we can go out there and make a difference. Not just as a light, but as a raging fire. And we don't have to go far to do it. And we don't have to do much or struggle as much as we think. All we have to do is look around us and spread the light where we walk. So as I turn 27 this year, the best gift I can get is knowing that I can change the world. And we don't have to cure cancer to do it. All we have to do is change our hearts and show it to others through kindness. And together, with our fire, we can change the world.
Are about to distribute some coins and some toys and just put them all throughout the park for kids to find. That's the best type of present. Scavenger hunt at the park. Let's go. Pennies face up. As always, if you're 5 or 95, it's always fun finding money. Always face up too. That's good luck. Oh, we actually just wanted to drop off some stuff for you guys because you guys have been working so hard. So we had just some coffee and just some cookies that we'd just love to drop off for you guys just to say thank you for all you
It's Raquel's birthday. She's doing 27 acts of kindness today.
Yeah.
Kindness is love.
Amabilidad es la idioma del alma.
Putting others before yourself.
Kindness is fun.
Kindness is unconditional, beautiful, graceful.
Connecting with other people.
Kindness is making your community a little bit better than where you found it.
Kindness is the language that we all speak. Let's make kindness cool!
You know, it is absolutely amazing to watch somebody do that. And I have never even thought about doing that for my birthday. So I just turned 46. So I am going to spend the next 46 days doing an act of kindness every single day. Something I'm going to start placing pennies places like that, just right there. How do you feel when you find a penny on the road, right? And you pick it up and it's got an answer right there. That's just amazing. And I hope that it inspires you to want to do something, because we do need to work through and talk about, because guess what? If you don't know, November 13th is World Kindness Day. So I really hope that you start to plan something for what you want to do. And it is actually Saturday, November the 13th. So if you are not working, even if you are, I think that it's going to be an amazing day. And I hope that we can do many, many things with that. So I'm going to wow, it has flown by today talking with you guys and speaking. So I want to cover a couple questions that people had sent in, and then I will go over the last article with you guys. All right. So first question that I have gotten, and I have actually gotten this a lot out talking with people as well. If employees know toxic work environments and adult bullies are the problem, then why don't they fix it? You know, I don't know if they see it or if we have just normalized this bad behavior for so long. I tend to believe that we have normalized this command and control, and we are at the point that we are changing. We are at the point where we get to decide which way we're going to go. So companies who follow the business case for kindness and lead with kindness are going to win. There is no doubt about it, because our society is changing. Our workforce is changing. It's people over profits. We need to go back and we need to start treating every employee with a livable wage, dignity and respect, kindness, and the things that they deserve. All right. Number 2, this one was a fun one. And we haven't really talked about this today. So I'm just going to briefly bring this up because this is a topic. I have a whole nother day of topics of this. But how can women or anyone find out if they are paid equally at their company? That right there. That's a fun one. I know I get my little grins and I think about these things. So, number 1, it is not illegal to talk about your salary unless you have signed a non-disclosure agreement that says you can't talk about your salary. Okay. So if your employer tells you you can't, that's illegal. If you have signed something that say you're not going to talk about it, then you would be violating whatever you signed. So number 1, you can talk to your coworkers if you want, but you have to be willing to understand that if you want your coworkers to share with you, you have to share with them. So you have to be willing to understand that. You can always go to HR and your manager and ask the question. I honestly, where I believe we all need to go, and this will make it easier for everyone, is we should start demanding pay audits. We should be going to our managers in HR and asking for them to show us an independent pay audit that they are paying equally. But you see, this is where corporate America, and this is where they get everything they want because they make things so darn difficult. How they get away with this, and I know this for a fact because I will tell you. I found everybody's salary on the printer one day in Atlanta. I don't know if somebody did it on purpose or if they knew I would find it or I would actually look at it. I don't know. Or maybe they just, I don't know. I don't know. I took it to the person's desk to make sure they knew I saw it. I knew I was underpaid. I knew I was not being paid the same. They knew it. They told me after I had seen all of it. And it really is something that it makes no sense. Why are you hiring somebody with like 20 years, 15 years less experience, even 5 years less experience, and paying them more for doing the same job that somebody's been in your company doing for 5 years? See, this is where the disrespect comes in, and this is where we discriminate against our existing employees. And I see this happen, right? We offer these new employees the $15 an hour, but the existing ones are back at 13. You can't do that, people. You have to treat your employees with dignity and respect, and you got to treat them all the same. It's time to stop with this. Corporate America gets away because they have way too many job titles. They have way too many pay grades. They do this on purpose. And if you don't believe me, ask an HR person. They will tell you they do this on purpose. So how they get away with it then is they put this person in this category and this person in this one. And see, these two are slightly different. How about we just stop down that path? You make them slightly different, but they're basically the same job because you want to pay one person differently than the other. Let's be clear. How about we stop having so many damn job titles and so many darn starting pays for different levels? Imagine if you were a director and it was based on your years being a director at the company, right? You get this pay when you get up to here, then you get this and this and this. You go up, but that's not what they want to do. I feel like we have done this. We have been pitted against each other in this competition that makes no sense because we're not really competing against each other, are we? We should be competing for ourselves, but yet that's not how it works. There is no equal pay, and until companies complete, and I will say this again, independent pay audits, companies should not be allowed to do their own pay audits. If they want to do their own pay audits and then get somebody independent to come in and redo it, that's fine too. But the fact is you should have somebody independent do your pay audit. And if anybody has any questions on that, I can tell you exactly where to go and what to do. Number 3. Why do I believe in what I have written? The KRT model was created with over 25 years of experience. I've been doing this. I've been building the teams. I mentioned my diverse team, right? In that operations department. My team had half the people of the other teams, and we were doing 2 and 3 times the work. Now, were we happy? We were as happy as we possibly could be in this hostile work environment because of myself, but I built it. We did it. And I've helped many other people do the same thing. This is how it works. You lead with kindness, you build to respect, and you get to trust. So I know my employee satisfaction scores were always through the roof compared to any organization that I was ever part of. So leading, which it's very interesting. My undergraduate is in management because I truly believed in understanding management principles and organizational principles. My MBA is in general business. So I learned lots of layers in college, of which then all of my jobs before college, during college, my 15 years in corporate America, and now 6 years off on my own. Kindness, keep coming back to it. Kindness is where we go. Leading with kindness will help you with your employees because your employees don't want to be yelled and screamed at, as we all know. They don't want to be discriminated against, as we all know. But yet we keep doing it. So I appreciate your time today. And just to put out there, and again, everybody, each their own on this. I think you guys can see my flags and my vote for women and all the things that I have behind me. On October 2nd, there will be a women's march. Check your town or womensmarch.com. Go out there, look for it, because we have an assault right now on women within the United States. And I have to tell you again, and I will say it again, Salesforce. Salesforce offers to relocate employees and their families after the Texas abortion law goes into effect. Now, Salesforce have done pay audits. Salesforce actually is one of a very progressive company, if you don't know who they are, and they work really hard to take care of their employees. So there is an all-out assault on women in our country, and I understand we have. I'm not going to go down the anti-pro whatever debate here. A woman's body is a woman's body, period. Men should not be making laws against a woman's body. A woman's autonomy is hers. It is absolutely ridiculous that they made a bill in Texas that makes it virtually impossible for a woman to have an abortion if she chooses to. Virtually impossible. And having the whistleblower site on top of it, when did my health become your concern? Like, we are literally, Texas is creating these vigilantes that are going to be out there watching people just so they can make $10,000. Is this who we are? Is this how we're going to lead going forward? No. These type of restrictions are being put in place because somebody wants to control my body. And nobody gets to control my body but me. And I know that we are all on that same path, because discrimination of one group, me, women, discrimination against anybody who's not white, discrimination to anybody who's not straight, discrimination against religious, discrimination for this, discrimination for this. This is what's led us here with the hate, fear, and greed, and we don't need it anymore. Let's move forward. Let's create our world of kindness, because kindness is our superpower. The hate, fear, and greed, we don't need it anymore. Kindness is our only path forward. I want to thank you for spending Kindness Sunday with me. I know we discussed a lot of different things, but if you have any questions, my email address is cherie@bekindtoall.com. You can go to Be Kind to All on my website, and you can always put in a contact form there. And I think I'm going to go play some pennies now, because, bringing some kindness, you never know. And on my road, placing some pennies, this could be really interesting if I just put some randomly out there on the sidewalks. Who knows? Well, I hope you have a great Sunday. And I look forward to hearing your plans for the Kindness Day, because doing something is amazing. Helping people, just saying, I appreciate you, I see you, or even just putting a note on the door of a stranger like they did in the video. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you're doing to help us, help our world, our society, because we are changing. And kindness is our path forward. And the business case for kindness is what will bring it all together. Those who choose not to lead with kindness are not going to win in this battle that and I shouldn't say battle. They want us to use these words. We've been taught this. Kindness is our only path forward. It's not a battle. Those who choose kindness will win. They will have happy employees, which will mean happy customers, which will mean more money. It's not a difficult formula. I appreciate everybody, and cheers to a happy Sunday and remembering 9/11. I hope everybody has a great day. I will see you later.